Welcome to the Louisiana Youth for Excellence, or LYFE program, data collection training. You're here because your agency has received a LYFE contract and is implementing the Making a Difference Sexual Risk Avoidance Education program in our state. This training is part of the technical assistance provided for data collection and reporting to the LYFE program by Louisiana State University's Social Research and Evaluation Center. Here is what you can expect from this training. First, we will discuss data collection requirements, such as the program implementation dates, data collection, and reporting. This includes what data your agency should be collecting while you implement the Making a Difference program. We will discuss data reporting deadlines for the Sexual Risk Avoidance Education Program Performance Analysis Study, or SRAE-PAS, the federal program requiring your data that you will send to us. And lastly, we will discuss how your agency should prepare and report your data for LSU. These are requirements for the SRAE PAS reporting portal. There are three sets of data that you will be collecting and reporting: data from entry and exit surveys, data from attendance, reach, and dosage, which should be collected for each cohort or group of kids that receive the Making a Difference curriculum. Note that cohort refers to a group of youth receiving the Making a Difference program together. If you delivered the program to a group of 30 youth at once, then those 30 youth comprise a single cohort. A cohort could also consist of just one person if the program was delivered one-on-one. And finally, structure, cost, and support data, which covers the overall reporting period. On future slides, we'll discuss in detail what each of these entails. If your agency began implementing the Making a Difference curriculum at any time between January 1st through June 30th, 2024, you should have administered entry surveys. These data must be reported. If your participants completed paper surveys, your agency must complete the Excel spreadsheet with the participant responses and submit this data to LSU no later than July 19, 2024. If a group or cohort of kids finished the Making a Difference curriculum at any time during January 1st through June 30th, 2024, then exit surveys and attendance, reach, and dosage data should also be submitted by July 19th. All agencies that were active at any time from October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024 will submit structure, cost, and support data by July 19th as well. As we mentioned, each cohort receiving Making a Difference who's middle school age or older should complete entry and exit surveys. An entry survey should be given before the first module of the program is given. An exit survey should be administered after the last module is delivered. I want to remind you that entry and exit surveys by participants are voluntary, and responses should be anonymous. Participants can choose not to complete an entry or exit survey, skip questions, or stop the survey anytime. There should be no penalty or pressure to finish the survey. Attendance, reach, and dosage should be tracked for each cohort. Attendance, reach, and dosage refers to the number of sessions each participant attends, the number of hours of the program that each participant receives, and the type of program setting. For example, did your participants receive the program in school, in a classroom, in your agency, or virtually through Zoom? You will also submit structure, cost, and support data during the July reporting period. The data will not be specific to a cohort, but will ask about the entire grant period from October 2023 through September 2024. Data collection dates and deadlines. All providers with a contract in place and providing Making a Difference from October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024 are part of the summer data collection schedule. All entry or exit surveys administered between January 1st and June 30th, 2024 will be collected. Did you complete the Making a Difference curriculum with a group of participants between January 1st and June 30th, 2024? Then the attendance, reach, and dosage data will be collected if the answer is yes. If you contracted with the LYFE office from October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024, you will complete the structure, cost, and support data form during the summer reporting session. Again, the deadline for all data entry is Friday, July 19th, 2024. All providers can determine how to collect entry and exit surveys, either on paper in person, mail or telephone, or through the online survey. If you choose the paper surveys, you will need to prepare your survey data for the SRAE data collection tools this summer. The SRAE program has provided the entry and exit survey recording tools in Microsoft Excel. The spreadsheet allows for recording each participant's entry survey response collected during the reporting period. You can see the instruction on the first workbook sheet for the participant survey on this slide. This page explains how to enter data for each participant's response into the tool. On this slide, you will see the data entry codes that are listed on the last page of the workbook. This page lists the appropriate data entry codes that should be entered into the entry and exit reporting tool for applicable responses. For example, if a participant response is yes to a question, you are instructed to enter a Y into the appropriate cell in the spreadsheet. This is what the tool looks like when you open the spreadsheet. I'm showing a small sample of the entry survey reporting spreadsheet. There's a column for every question in the survey. You would enter the response that your participant selected for each question. The column headings show the possible answers that are allowed in each column. For the column titled Enter Grantee Name, every provider should enter Louisiana. This is the name of the SRAE grant. Titled Enter Provider Name, enter your agency name as written in your contract with the LYFE grant. For the column titled Enter Program Model Name, enter the curriculum name used, which is making a difference. Next, you will enter the version of the survey you are recording, middle school or high school version. If you look at the top of the column, you will see the acceptable data codes in that column of the spreadsheet. In this column, Excel will only accept an MS for middle school or an HS for high school. Our program does not administer any impact surveys, so do not select MS Impact or HS Impact surveys. When you type in the MS or HS in this column, the spreadsheet automatically adjusts for missing data responses in the correct column for the questions asked in each survey version. Here's another small sample of the spreadsheet. There's a column for every question in the survey. You would enter the response that your participant selected for each question. As you enter the data from the paper survey into the spreadsheet, you'll notice that the data entry codes or the expected responses that should be entered for each question are located at the top of each column. The system will not allow you to enter a number or letter out of range. In this example, on this slide, you couldn't enter a 20 for grade at entry because grade level 20 is not an option. The highest level graded entry for the high school survey is 17. The system would give you an error message. If you receive an error message, simply replace the incorrect number or letter with the correct data entry code. If you need assistance filling out your entry or exit spreadsheet, Shrek can assist you. Our contact information will be listed at the end of the presentation. Are those surveys with questions removed? Be careful while entering data into the reporting tool. There will be Excel columns or questions in this reporting tool that do not correspond to the questions in the school-based survey since questions have been removed. Skip past these columns and leave them blank to report the data in your surveys. Our exit survey reporting tool works the same way as our entry reporting tool, so we don't need to go through it again, but I want to draw your attention to one thing in the exit survey that is different than the entry survey reporting tool. Some of the middle school and high school survey questions are numbered differently but appear in the same column. As you enter data, be aware that these are the same questions and the survey numbers are the only difference. In this example, The high school question 15A is the same as the middle school question 13A. It's the same survey question, just a different survey number. For attendance, reach, and dosage data, there are two parts to this data collection. Program level data, that is the implementation of the Making a Difference curriculum, and the cohort level data, or the data about groups of kids who received Making a Difference together. Keep participant attendance records for every program session while implementing Making a Difference curriculum to provide this data. Number of participants by session, program session. Here are some of the data SRAE is looking for. Did any kids or their parents receive the Making a Difference program for January 1st through June 30th, 2024? If the answer is yes, continue with this form. If the answer is no, you do not have to answer any more questions. Did any kids start the Making a Difference program between January 1st and June 30th, 2024? Yes or no? If yes, you must also complete the entry survey section of this form. We will not expect any entry survey information if the answer is no. Did any kids finish the Making a Difference program between January 1st and June 30th, 2024? Yes or no? If your response is no, you do not need to complete the rest of the form, except perhaps the entry survey information mentioned above. If your answer is yes, you must complete this form, including the exit survey section. You will be asked how many kids attended at least one program session. Enter the total number of participants who attended at least one program session. Then you'll enter the number of kids in middle school and how many were in high school. Be sure that the number of middle school and high school participants equals the number of participants entered above. Enter the youth who completed at least 75% of scheduled program hours. If you enter the total number of program hours for one complete program delivery provided to one participant, the form will calculate what 75% of the scheduled hours are. Once you determine the number of program hours, count the participants who completed that number of hours. So if you delivered 100 program hours, you will count the number of participants who completed at least 75 hours. Next, you will enter the number of kids who attended at least one program session in each program setting listed, such as in school, after school, in a clinic, virtually, etc. In the next section, please indicate whether more than 50% of the total number of kids attending the program were in the groups provided: in foster care, pregnant or parenting, homeless or runaway, in the juvenile justice systems, LGBTQ youth, none of the above. Please note that you will not have to provide the exact number of kids served in one of these populations. You only report yes or no that more than 50% of the kids served were in the category selected. Only report specific populations when you have information that confirms that assessment. If you're uncertain if your participants are in one of these populations, do not report them. Enter the number of kids, parents, or other caring adults that came to at least one Making a Difference class, session, or module. In the next two sections, please answer all questions regarding your participant entry and exit survey administration. The number of kids who attended at least one program session will appear in the gray box for your reference. The total number of middle school and high school kids reported earlier in the form will also appear in the gray boxes for your reference while you enter survey information. First, enter the total number of middle school entry surveys completed. Remember, this number shouldn't be more than the number of middle school participants entered earlier. Refer to the gray box above this number to refresh your memory. This number should also match the number of middle school surveys in the Excel spreadsheet of survey responses that will also be sent to us. Next, enter the number of high school entry surveys completed. Remember, this number shouldn't exceed the number of high school participants entered earlier. Refer to the gray box above this number to refresh your memory. This number should also match the number of high school surveys in the Excel spreadsheet of survey responses that will also be sent to us. For the question, did you use the school version of the entry survey with some questions removed, answer Y or yes if you used a school-based survey or the survey with questions removed. Then please answer the rest of the questions on this page. And finally, you will be asked if the program ended during this reporting period for a group or cohort of kids, yes or no. If you respond yes for a cohort or group, enter the total number of hours for the entire program. This should consist of the hours of making a difference plus all additional youth development activity hours provided to meet SRAE goals. The total number of program hours for one complete program delivery provided to one participant will appear in gray at the bottom of the table. This should be a reference to use for each cohort. It is normal for a cohort to receive slightly more or fewer hours than planned. For example, while a certain amount of hours are expected, the program canceled one of the program sessions or modules. Or maybe additional hours were included to cover a topic that was of particular interest to the class that wasn't expected at the beginning. Next, we will discuss structure, cost, and support of program implementation. This data is only reported during the summer reporting period. Each site will be required to report the LYFE funding amount from the governor's office, any additional funding amount used to support the LYFE program or the Making a Difference curriculum, the number of staff trained, the number of staff involved in administering the program, core topics addressed by the program, supplemental program elements used to address core SRAE topics, and target populations served. Enter your agency name here. On this slide, you will see the collection tool created to help collect the structure, cost, and support of your program implementation. For each contract with LYFE, an agency will be required to report the following information. Your LYFE funding award, that is the amount on your contract with the governor's office. Next, how much money did you get to help with the LYFE program from another source other than the governor's office? Next, is this your first year doing the LYFE program? That is this your first contract with the LYFE office? If yes, enter a Y and you're a new provider. Next, did you teach kids the Making a Difference curriculum at any point from October 23 through September 24? If yes, you'll enter the number of people at your organization who helped run the LYFE program. This number includes all staff involved in administering your LYFE program. How many of these people were full-time? How many of these people were part-time? The form will calculate the number of FTEs involved in administering the LYFE program. Next, how many total Making a Difference teachers work at your organization? How many of these teachers were trained to teach the lessons? How many of these teachers were observed only once while they taught? How many of these teachers were observed more than once while they taught? For the last two questions, count each of your Making a Difference teachers in one of these two categories, either observed exactly once or observed twice or more. Do not count the same teacher in both places. This form will give you an error if the number of teachers in these two categories is too high. Important information to remember when entering data for this part of the report. Remember, administration staff involves management and clerical staff, not those who facilitate the Making a Difference curriculum. The same position may do both duties, which is fine, and in that case, count them in both places. In this section, please indicate whether your agency had any implementation challenges by placing an X in not a problem, somewhat of a problem, or a serious problem to a series of situations that you may need help with. Next, indicate whether your agency needs any technical assistance by selecting not interested because already received, somewhat interested, or very interested to a series of technical assistance training activities that may be needed. In this section, we will collect program-level data for this reporting period. What are the intended number of hours for one complete delivery of the Making a Difference program, plus any additional supplemental hours that you plan to deliver to one participant? This is the same question that appeared in the attendance reach and dosage form. For this question, enter the number of hours one participant would receive if they attended every program session, including additional youth development hours. How many hours would that one participant receive? Next, you will see some LYFE or Making a Difference program measures. Indicate which of these program topics your program covers. Next, indicate if you have any other activities like guest speakers or extra lessons that teach LYFE topics, yes or no. If your response is yes, you will be asked which additional topics are covered. Next, indicate which groups of kids your program teaches. Answer yes or no to each population. To make data reporting easier for all agencies, LSU SREC will assist agencies with data entry. Please send SREC your data and we will submit it to the SRAE data portal. There is an online version of the entry and exit surveys. Please contact us for a version for your agency to use. We've also created a data entry form for attendance, reach, and dosage, as well as one for the structure, cost, and support. These are fillable Excel forms. They look like the PowerPoint slides that were part of the presentation today. These were sent to every agency. And finally, here's the contact information for our office. Call us anytime for assistance. Please feel free to return to this material as often as you need to and let us know if you have any additional questions. Thank you for joining us and for your time today.